Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm 𝙎𝙐𝘽𝙎𝘾. In today's episode, let's go back 20 years to one of the most horrific days in American history. Every American born before the late 1990s likely remembers the moment they found out that Islamic terrorists had orchestrated a horrific attack against innocent civilians on September 11, 2001. Terrorists crashed planes into both towers of the World Trade Center in New York and the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. Almost 3,000 people were killed that day. Now, this is a rare moment in history that actually carries personal weight for me, as I remember watching these attacks unfold on television as an 8-year-old boy. I'm sure it carries such weight for all of you watching as well. But in spite of the chaos and horror surrounding the attacks, the day also brought out the very best in American citizens. Hundreds of firefighters, police officers, first responders, and ordinary citizens put their lives on the line to help those who needed it most. And one of the most underappreciated rescues in American history happened that day because of ordinary people caring for one another in an extraordinary way. In this special two-part September 11th memorial of A Moment in History, let's explore the inspiring story of the 9/11 boat rescue. You all know the story all too well. At roughly 8:45 Eastern Time on Tuesday, September 11, 2001, a plane full of passengers slammed into the 95th floor of the World Trade Center's North Tower over Manhattan Island. At 9:03 a.m., a second plane smashed into the South Tower's 75th floor. What many had originally thought may have just been a horrific accident after the first explosion proved not to be so after the second. New Yorkers and Americans nationwide knew this was a deliberate attack. Hundreds were killed in the two plane crashes, including all passengers on board. During the 9 o'clock hour on the morning of September 11th, Americans learned that a third plane had crashed into the Pentagon, killing over 150 more people. At roughly 10 o'clock a.m., the South Tower, which was struck lower than the North Tower, could not hold the weight of the upper floors collapsing on itself and fell to the ground. A half hour later, the North Tower collapsed as well. And very quickly, city officials realized that they needed to halt traffic to and from the city to make way for the rescue. Therefore, the tunnels under the Hudson River and the bridges leading to and from Manhattan Island were closed. Unfortunately, this left hundreds of thousands of people trapped on Manhattan Island as smoke quickly engulfed the island. This is where ordinary American citizens were at their best, helping to orchestrate one of the largest civilian rescues in history. And we'll explore how that happened in our next episode. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History. For more historical content, subscribe and click that bell to get notifications for when our next Moment in History comes out. Until next time, I'm 𝙎𝙐𝘽𝙎𝘾.